Hey guys! Welcome to the What Happened channel. Today, I'm going to share with you the dark side of doctors and lawyers, professionals who should be examples of ethics and morals, but who, in some cases, got involved in crimes and bizarre behavior. Shall we find out what happened? Our first case is that of Dr. Harold Shipman, a British doctor who was convicted of murdering 15 patients, but it is suspected that he may have killed more than 200 people. Shipman administered lethal doses of medication to his mostly elderly patients and forged death certificates. He was arrested in 1998, and in 2004 he committed suicide in prison. Another doctor with a sinister past is Dr. H. Holmes, one of the first known serial killers in the United States. In the late 19th century, he built a hotel in Chicago known as the Castle of Death, where he is believed to have killed dozens of people. Holmes was arrested and executed in 1896. Dr. Michael Swango is another example of a doctor who used his profession to commit crimes. Swango was convicted of poisoning patients and co-workers in the United States and Zimbabwe. It is estimated that he may have killed up to 60 people. Swango was arrested in 2000 and is currently serving a life sentence. The Doctor. Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's personal physician, was convicted of manslaughter in 2011 following the singer's death in 2009. Murray was accused of administering a lethal dose of medication to Jackson. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but served only 2 and was released on good behavior. Dr. John Bodkin Adams, a British doctor, was accused of killing elderly patients to inherit their fortunes. Adams was put on trial in 1957 for 2 murders, but was eventually acquitted. Still, many believe he may have been responsible for the deaths of over 100 patients. Now, let's talk about lawyers. Ted Bundy is one of the most well-known serial killers in history and was studying law before his arrest. Bundy confessed to murdering 30 women, but the actual number of victims could be higher. He was sentenced to death and executed in 1989. Seth Bader was a lawyer who was convicted of the murder of his ex-wife in 1999. Bader planned the crime with the help of his teenage son, who later testified against him. He was sentenced to life in prison and continues to serve his sentence. Philip Giordano, former mayor of Waterbury, Connecticut and attorney, was convicted in 2003 of sexually abusing 2 underage girls and violating civil rights. Giordano used his position of power to commit these heinous crimes and is currently serving a 37-year prison sentence. Fred Tokars, an Atlanta attorney, was convicted in 1997 of murdering his wife. Tokars hired a man to kill her, but was eventually caught and sentenced to life in prison. He died in prison in 2020. Linda Fairstein, a former New York district attorney, was responsible for the wrongful conviction of the Central Park Five in 1990. The 5 Black and Latino teens were accused of raping and assaulting a white woman in Central Park. Years later, the convictions were overturned and Fairstein was criticized for her conduct in the case. These cases show that, although doctors and lawyers are professionals who should value ethics and morals, some of them end up getting involved in crimes and bizarre behavior. It is important to remember that these cases are exceptions and do not represent the majority of professionals in these areas. So, what did you think of these shocking cases involving doctors and lawyers? Leave your thoughts on these facts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more intriguing and revealing stories. Until next time, folks.